I'm John Callis. This is Fate versus Future, and I'm about to share the attractive business opportunity staring everyone in the face in five. Fitness is exclusive, but that's a foolish move for most businesses in the field. In their defense, they probably don't even realize what they're doing. See, fitness is exclusive even when it doesn't mean to be. Check it out. Progressions are a common way to teach complex movements. They build skill, ability, and capacity over time. As the Atlantic magazine recently pointed out, though, search YouTube or Peloton for basic progressions, and you'll see that most assume a baseline ability. The first step to building lower body strength is to perfect a standard squat without any weights. Over time, you might move on to squatting with a heavy kettlebell. Then you might start kicking out to the side as you squat in order to challenge a different group of muscles. But what if you can't even do a single squat to start with? Enter Hampton Liu. He's a kind, soft spoken fitness instructor on Instagram who is devoted to breaking movements down into smaller and smaller components in order to make them more accessible. He's got well over 600,000 followers on Instagram and counting. That's twice as many as Equinox and almost twice as many as SoulCycle. It's not quite as many as Peloton and Lululemon, but they are multi-billion-dollar publicly traded firms. Hampton is a 27-year-old calisthenics teacher in Arkansas. Zoom out. Today represents one of the most ripe environments ever for companies and individuals devoted to breaking down exclusivity, whatever the field. Okay, so first things first, this is obviously already a thing. It has been for some time. The publishing media property and platform for dummies features hundreds of millions of books in print across thousands of individual titles. The whole thing started with a single manual that demystified the text-based pre-Windows operating system DOS. Soho House, once a bastion of exclusivity, started in a small brick townhouse on Greek Street in central London. Today, it's a publicly traded company with 28 houses around the world and more coming. The company adds well over 10,000 members every year, which means they literally need to add hundreds and hundreds of new members every month in order for the business model to make sense. Exclusivity shattered. And that's in the physical world, which has to operate under actual constraints like time, space, and other factors that depend on supply and demand. It is an extraordinarily imperfect example, but the US stock trading app Robinhood is devoted to breaking down exclusivity too. Its innovation was shrinking stock trading commissions down to zero while gamifying investing in the process. Think about all of this for a sec, because it flies in the face of everything a lot of us believe about pricing, desirability, and brand building. But ask yourself, for real, if exclusivity as a brand strategy makes sense in 2022. The macro factors that have historically contributed to exclusivity in the past were all physical. Scarcity of gold, of land, or of handcrafted finery like clothing or art is what made those things exclusive. Enter the Industrial Revolution, whose standardization brought the cost of almost everything from ships to shirts right down, ushering in an era that changed the course of humanity. Layer on the technological revolution, which itself led to innovations like just-in-time manufacturing, all of which was fueled by a drop in shipping costs that allowed manufacturers to make stuff wherever it was cheapest. In other words, the macro conditions that have historically led to exclusivity have all been melting away for some time now. Sophisticated technology and deregulation means that services too, from air travel to legal documents, have all become cheaper and therefore less exclusive. But that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is lately, creatives are also deliberately abandoning exclusivity. Who does Yeezy want to partner with? Gap. Who does Gucci collab with? Adidas and the North Face. Balenciaga commissions a 15-minute film to promote their fashion show with not Martin Scorsese, but Matt Groening, the Simpsons creator. Art House is out. Fast and Furious 10 is in. And exclusivity is cringe without anyone having seen it coming. Now look around and realize that we're about to enter another step change. See, each one of those once exclusive products and services exist in the physical world. Peer into your computer or phone screen and consider this: money, property, finery like clothing or art, production, shipping, knowledge, entertainment, even land. All of those things are now creatable, mintable, in a way that they've never been before, electronically, virtually, and without any of the constraints of time and space. Yes, some NFTs are extremely rare, and some virtual shoes from Nike or Gucci might definitely sell out, but look closer. Louis Vuitton has created a free video game that has had millions of downloads. Two of the most talked about cryptocurrencies in the world, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, were minted with virtually limitless supply, meaning they can be had for fractions of a penny per coin. The creator economy means that anyone can build a following, whatever their talent or creative impulse. The shy creator economy, which we wrote about yesterday, means that people can do so without even showing their faces or revealing their names. Facebook spent its first 2 years as an exclusive service for students. Of course, there will always be software beta testing, but the idea of a software platform deliberately ring-fencing its users like this, as strictly as Facebook did for as long as they did, is laughable today. We talked about Soho House, Robinhood, Yeezy, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Balenciaga, the people behind Shiba Inu, and Dogecoin, but who else is busting through exclusivity? And what can we learn from them? Well, the NYU professor, business media commentator, and entrepreneur Scott Galloway has built his fourth company around busting the exclusivity around business schools. Section 4, in just over 2 years, has gone from a single course taught by Scott to a membership organization featuring dozens of courses, lectures, webinars, and fireside chats per year, taught by as many professors. Each class routinely pulls in thousands of students from all over the world, and they'll even cover your tuition if you say you can't pay. There is opportunity in the end of exclusivity everywhere. They've raised over 8 figures from VCs who believe in Scott and his exclusivity busting vision. My own company has been doing this for years, bringing big agency services down to startup timings and budgets. We have not raised 8 figures from any VCs, but I can vouch for the demand among companies that are too small or too new to work with huge marketing services providers. We are living in a post-exclusive world of our own design, but many businesses are slow to catch up to this. They shouldn't be. If you manufacture physical products, consider how you or your brand can deliver something of value to more people, even if it's not your actual product. If you sell services, consider how they can become more mass. If you're talented at something, think about how you might use that talent to bust through an exclusivity barrier in your field. There are a lot of people waiting on the other side. So what do you think? Is all this obvious or insightful? Have you got anything to add? Simply comment below. Thank you for watching.